like
legacy was.
anything with her name on it is strictly for the purposes of financial gain for those who have access to her estate, including Clive Davis.
Including Clive Davis.
Clive Davis. This ain't a film to celebrate Whitney Houston. This is a film to, you know, pay the. That's how Clive did it. And then the next thing you know, she's Jay, and then it's Grammy time.
That happened.
And her and Clive had a fight 2 days before.
Jaguar Wright has returned with new revelations about Diddy, suggesting that Diddy's mentor, Clive Davis, might have introduced him to the Illuminati using mysterious occult practices known only to the highest echelons of Hollywood. Diddy's remarkable rise from a humble background to a billionaire music mogul is widely known, despite persistent accusations of mistreatment, trafficking, murder, and various other controversies thrown at him over the years. It seems that Clive Davis played a pivotal role in Diddy's success, potentially shielding him from serious investigations or repercussions for the alleged crimes attributed to him. However, in the interconnected realms of Hollywood and the Illuminati, nothing is without a cost. Jaguar Wright suggests that Diddy might have had to render significant services or payments, particularly involving influential male celebrities, to attain his current power and wealth. She questions Clive Davis's involvement in this scenario and whether Diddy paid a certain price, possibly related to alleged Illuminati ties, shielding him from facing legal consequences for his alleged crimes. Wright believes Diddy is involved in trafficking within the realms of music and entertainment, attributing his perceived invincibility to his deep connections, especially with Clive Davis, his mentor. According to Wright, Clive Davis, who also mentored Andre Harrell, not only taught Diddy the ropes of successful management and business, but also allegedly instructed him on trafficking women and men. Recent news about a lawsuit filed by Cassie against Diddy, accusing him of trafficking her for his pleasure, physical mistreatment, and a decade of mistreatment, underscores these claims. Wright connects these allegations to a pattern of behavior she believes stems from the teachings and influence of mentors like Clive Davis. She endured a cycle of mistreatment and alleged trafficking while with him. The lawsuit propelled Diddy to become the quickest negotiator globally, settling within a mere 24 hours of Cassie's filing. His legal team bombarded Cassie with calls, seeking negotiations, and the case eventually reached a settlement for an undisclosed sum, speculated by many to exceed $30 million. While some might argue that settling doesn't imply guilt or any admission, it's unusual to pay such a substantial amount if one is entirely innocent. Moreover, this case triggered a cascade of legal actions against Diddy. 2 additional lawsuits followed soon after, both accusing him of varying degrees of mistreatment. Joy Dyerson Neal, a former video vixen for Diddy, filed the first one, claiming that in 1991, Diddy mistreated her, causing severe, lasting injuries from being drugged, mistreated, and subjected to revenge pornography. Neal asserted that Diddy had invited her to a dinner in New York, an invitation she hesitantly accepted. Shortly after the dinner commenced, Neal alleged that Diddy spiked her drink and transported her to an apartment where he mistreated her. Due to the effects of the drugs, she purportedly lacked the physical and mental capability to protect herself against Diddy's actions. Neal claimed she was in such a state of intoxication that she couldn't walk or stand properly. Moreover, Neal alleged that Diddy recorded the entire incident, a revelation she only discovered when the video mysteriously circulated back to her through male acquaintances. Despite Diddy's legal team dismissing the lawsuit as lacking merit and being driven solely by financial motives, Neal demanded a jury trial to address her claims. In a separate lawsuit, an unnamed woman identified as Jane Doe also filed legal action against Diddy. She alleged that in 1990, Diddy and musician Aaron Hall mistreated both her and her friend. According to Jane Doe, during a music industry event, they all ended up at Aaron Hall's apartment, where Diddy and Aaron Hall purportedly mistreated the women. Additionally, she claimed that Diddy later visited her at her residence and allegedly choked her so severely that she lost consciousness and required medical attention to recover. However, this isn't the only accusation against Diddy. People from his past have also emerged, denouncing him and implicating him in various incidents. For instance, Roger Bonds, Diddy's former head of security, who was directly mentioned in Cassie's lawsuit, spoke out to present his perspective on the accusations leveled against Diddy by Cassie. Roger Bonds had a long-standing professional relationship with Diddy, spanning several years, which included the period when Cassie was involved with Diddy. In her lawsuit, Cassie mentioned that Roger Bonds witnessed an incident in 2009 where Diddy physically mistreated her after he discovered she was conversing with another music manager at a club in Los Angeles. Cassie asserted that Bonds observed his boss hitting her and attempted to intervene to stop the altercation. In response to being mentioned in Cassie's legal action, Bonds made somewhat cryptic social media posts, clarifying that his intention wasn't to threaten or expose anyone. He expressed his desire to share his truth as he remembered it, citing his responsibility as a father of 4 daughters. Bonds, however, eventually removed the posts before divulging further details. While the exact content of his intended message remains unknown, it strongly suggested his inclination to discuss his involvement in the alleged mistreatment of Cassie by Diddy, lending credence to the claim of mistreatment taking place. Regardless of the slim chance that Diddy might claim innocence amidst these accusations, the emergence of multiple lawsuits implies that these claims aren't unfounded. Rumors suggest that this might just be the beginning, with more lawsuits alleging mistreatment expected to surface against Diddy. Speculations hint at potential accusations coming from men, given the open secret in the industry about Diddy's frequent gay parties. As more men come forward with unsettling experiences from these gatherings, rapper Fabulous disclosed his uncomfortable encounter after being invited to one of Diddy's parties, which took an unexpected turn. He found the atmosphere so unsettling that he had to fabricate an excuse to leave early. Similarly, rapper Zibbit recounted an incident where Diddy took him to a male gay club for a party. Comedian Faison Love shared another peculiar encounter from one of Diddy's events, describing an incident where he walked in on Diddy and Felix the House Cat in an intimate position at a Miami party. It was an unexpected tableau, a surprising scene indeed. They casually sipped from a bottle of Hennessy, passing it back and forth between them, while the rest of the room buzzed with lively conversation. These accounts shed light on a pattern of unsettling behavior linked to Diddy's social gatherings. Allegedly, there were countless music executives present, engaging intimately with each other and the models. These parties themselves aren't the crux of the issue. What's concerning is the allegation that Diddy exploits his proximity to young men. There are accusations of him allegedly mistreating and taking advantage of them. Reports even suggest that he hired male workers to partake in activities involving Cassie during his freak-offs. As per his former bodyguard, Gene Deal, Diddy allegedly frequently hired male workers for specific purposes. Reportedly, he would drug these individuals and coerce them into performing acts while surreptitiously recording them without their consent. The Deal also affirmed that hosting gay parties were among Diddy's favored activities. Deal implied that waiting outside a Turkish bath was indicative of something beyond the ordinary. Turkish baths, unknown to some, serve as meeting spots for many gay men. They convene there, indulging in communal hot baths. It's a setting where certain undisclosed activities take place, where individuals engage in meetings, fostering connections in a comfortable environment that allows them to avoid potential exposure of their private dealings and discrepancies. In essence, Deal hinted at a level of understanding about these clandestine meetings, insinuating the need for secrecy and discretion within these gatherings. These gatherings occurred 2 to 3 times a week, organized by Diddy exclusively for males, and were always heavily charged with an erotic atmosphere. Someone who wouldn't be taken aback by such revelations is Jaguar Wright. She strongly believes that Diddy often exploits young men within the industry under the guise of mentorship. She recounted an incident where a female lawyer associated with Bad Boy Records once disclosed witnessing Diddy receiving favors from a young Christopher Williams, who was aspiring for a record deal with Bad Boy Records. Jaguar is of the belief that Diddy engages in these actions to assert his power and diminish others, traits she thinks he learned from his mentor, Andre Harold, who in turn learned them from his mentor, Clive Davis. In 2013, Clive Davis published his memoir, The Soundtrack of My Life, wherein he revealed his bisexuality. Davis admitted that after the failure of his second marriage, despite identifying as entirely heterosexual until then, he became open to relationships irrespective of gender. His experience varied from what he had known before. He realized he could form connections based on the individual rather than solely on gender. Eventually, after a period of about 4 or 5 years of seeing both men and women, he entered a relationship with a man. Later, in interviews, he openly acknowledged being a closeted bisexual while still married to his second wife, and disclosed that he had discreetly dated men within the music industry over the years. So that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned and we will catch you in the next video.